guys, welcome back to another episode of Restoration Talks. And in this video, we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about mold damage restoration. And in this episode, I have Master Technician Liam. Liam, welcome to the show. And Liam is Liam. You have a lot of experience with mold, right? I mean, you've done this for a while. Can you tell me a little bit about the common causes that you've seen of mold in the field?
Well, a lot of times it comes from a water damage that was not fixed or addressed, and an extended period of time with wet moisture in building materials can cause mold.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm sure if you have like a leaky roof or something, it'll seep into the wall, and that's kind of tricky. What are the typical signs of mold damage?
You'll notice an odor, usually a musty odor, or you'll see visible discoloration, whether it be black, pink, yellow. There's a lot of different types of mold that you can have a different color. So a lot of times it's trust your senses. If you're getting stuffy or have headaches or anything along those lines, those are common symptoms of mold damage.
Yeah, especially if you haven't had those symptoms before, and like let's say you had a flood somewhere in your upper part of the house, especially maybe even if you walk into a different room and you kind of almost just know, right? Like there's something weird going on there. Now, typically when a lot of customers or prospects call us, we typically like to ask them, hey, is this something that you can see, or is this something that you can smell, right? Because if you can see it, then it's like, all right, it's definite mold issues going on.
Absolutely, and then we'll always come out, we'll address it ourselves, and then we'll let you know how to proceed from there. If it's visual and it's under 10 square feet, we'll be able to take care of it in the home, and it could just be on the surface and not aerosolized.
Wow. Now, some of our customers sometimes will ask us, hey, is this kind of mold dangerous? Is there a particular mold that's more dangerous than other, or is it just kind of all generalized?
There are a few molds that are more dangerous. The black mold that everyone's scared of, which is Stachybotrys, and then Penicillium aspergillus, and those ones are the ones that people are scared of that can actually affect the human body. Now, there's 36 different molds that have the characteristics of black, so it's not always bad. That's why it's good to get it tested.
Now, we don't actually do testing ourselves, right?
No, we do not. We use a third-party voucher for chain of integrity purposes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd be kind of funny, right, if we go out and do the mold testing and then, it's like, oh, you have mold, but
yeah.
Luckily for us, we don't have any kind of, like you said, for integrity purposes, we don't actually do that. But we will refer somebody if
absolutely.
If you have mold, we'll go ahead
and if you choose to use somebody of your own choice, then we can also work off of their scope of work as well.
That's awesome. Now, I know we don't particularly deal with mold testing, but how is that actually done? Is that what do they typically do with mold testing?
Well, they'll come in and then they can take a visual test, see what they see if there's any visual discoloration. They'll see if they need to warrant a swab test to get cultured in the lab, and then they'll also do air sampling testing. They'll take a controlled sample outside because that's what your indoor should be at the same level or better. And then if you have a compromised air quality in your home, it'll show up that way.
Wow, that's very, very informative. Now, let's say that you actually have mold. There is definitely a problem. What is the process of that being remediated? Can you walk us through a little bit of how that whole process works?
Well, the first step of remediation is removal. So if there's any type of discoloration, we would remove it and not try to clean it. And then the rest of your home, we are dealing with a microscopic mold infestation. So we will come in with specialized vacuums that don't have any exhaust, clean everything. We'll have our air scrubbers, which are to fix the air quality as well. And then if there is any type of water damage that it occurred from, we'll dry out the building materials as well.
Wow. Now, I've seen some of these job sites. I mean, it looks like almost like a lab, right? Because I mean, you're dealing with, microscopic elements.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So we do. I've seen some of our work where there's been tenting and there's things like that. Like obviously. The main reason for that, I'm assuming, is to prevent any kind of spread.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's only damage in part of your home, then we would isolate that area and contain it off so we don't cause any secondary cross-contamination when we're removing the materials out of that area.
Wow. Now, one of the biggest questions we get is, how much does something like that cost, right? Because I mean, you're talking about, potentially, almost like an infestation of mold if if it gets out of hand, right? It's something that needs
Yeah.
to be resolved immediately.
Absolutely. You know, it is detailed cleaning, so it can get on the fairly expensive side, but also it's case by case. It can be small, it could be something that's just dormant, it's not aerosolized. We can encapsulate it and remove it and then just clean up that area, and it won't be very costly. If it's in the air, we have to assume that if it breathes, the mold spores are there, so we have to clean it, and it's very detailed cleaning. So it differs case by case.
Wow. So you hear it here first, guys. I mean, definitely do not delay if you have mold issues. As you know, United Water Restoration Group is a 24/7 mold, water, and fire remediation company. And hopefully, if you call us, you'll get a specialized technician like Liam. Liam, thank you so much for answering our questions.
No problem.
And this is, once again, United Water Restoration Group. We'll catch you guys next time in the next video. Thank you for tuning in.